because of the Iranian people. So we kind of sneaked through other machines, and then I swear to God, it was like this. I gave my passport, and I was asked for the arrive can, and I said, I don't have it. He says, why? I said, my passport is the only one document required here, and besides, I don't give any consent to use any of my electronics for that purpose, because there is no law that is forcing me to use my electronics.
I told them, they said, why didn't you install RiveCan? I said, because it's my personal property, and if the government wants to give me a phone, I'll download it.
Basically, that's what I was telling you.
I paint my house blue. No.
Yeah, but that's what I was telling them. My personal equipment, it's not for your purpose, period.
So of property, Bill of Rights.
So right away, he jumped out of his seat, follow me. So he opened the other door. The minute I entered the other door, there was this young woman. Oh, you've been randomly selected to have a test. I say, I have one, thank you. No, you have to do the test. I say, I have one, thank you. And I did the test a few hours, at the airport, because I was forced, So first time, you have to do the test. I took that test and literally put under her nose. I said, I have one, okay? So then this tall, big guy comes and invites me to sit down in front of him. And same question, very first, didn't introduce himself. I didn't know who the
This meeting is being recorded.
And he's like, why don't you have I say, no. Why? No. I repeat the same because I don't have I don't give consent to use my private that purpose. Okay. And he said, you don't have a ticket. I say, listen, do what you need to do. I didn't want to even argue because he was like barking me. Okay. And he's like about 6 seats for a tall guy. And not young, I would say, because you kept saying young people. This one was older than I, so 60s plus, okay? Mm-hmm. So then he's doing something on his computer. I say, by the way, what's your name? Once. I say, what is your name? Twice. Okay, my battery, fuck. And then third time, I say, what's your, I'm sorry. And he says, well, I say, what's your name? And meanwhile, I took my telephone out and I start recording him. Okay. And he says, it's going to be on your ticket. Okay. So I'm recording. He said, I don't want to wish to be recorded. I said, listen, you're a public servant. I have a right, okay, to record you. So I've been recording him, so which is good. So he gives me the ticket and the name, it says pilot. Isn't it funny? I'm at the airport and the name is pilot. And then he didn't explain me nothing. I say, okay, am I free to go? He said, yeah. Nothing about quarantine. Nothing, no fucking shit, even, excuse me my language, not even talk about quarantine. The ticket says 5,000 and then it's grand total $6,255. 2 weeks after, my friend Sophia comes from Warsaw, the same airlines, the same procedure. She didn't get any ticket, she got 2 weeks quarantine. Yeah, so that's my story.
When I was back to these public health officers, when I was coming through Windsor, I asked her to identify herself and she refused to. So I rolled up my window. Well, my door was already locked. I rolled up my window and I said, I'm not talking to you anymore. And I looked straight ahead and I just didn't even acknowledge her. I was like, no, you're a public health officer. You're supposed to identify yourself. I'm not talking to you anymore. See ya.
And Rebecca, I remember when you were crossing the border and you said that they gave you the paper form of ArriveCan, and you say
yes, no, that was but I didn't fill it in. I filled in my information and that was it.
But that's it. So that's it. I also asked this guy, the Mr. Pilot. Okay, I asked him 3 times, which I recorded. You know what? I don't have a telephone for that purpose. I can fill it up on the paper. I asked him 3 times. He didn't even respond, nothing. And then he was like, stood up and showed his hands like this, and he looked like a kind of high Hitler. So I started,
that's not funny, that's sad.
And I start laughing and I say, okay, which way to go? And he's like this, yeah. So I came to him, I said, listen, I'm not your mother, I'm not your wife, I'm not your daughter, I'm not your dog. If your mother didn't teach you savoir de vivre, too bad to say, I'm not here for that. So I turned and I asked the lady next to him, I say, which way should I go? Because he didn't even bother.
They're so rude.
And you know what?
Rude.
He opened me that elastic and say, shut up to me. And me, me, yes. And me, I was like loudly repeating. And I said, did you just say shut up to me?
Oh my God.
He did. I swear. And at that moment, I stopped recording, but anyhow, so that was my experience. But I have a quick question because my battery is going to die in a second. It's completely different because you mentioned about Brian, okay?
Yeah.
When I arrived, when they arrested him, he was already in the car. His car was on the street. Nobody could drive his car. They want to tow away. So I said, I will drive his car, okay? And not even being in the car, the police asked me for my driving license. And I was like, yes. And I said, why do you need my driving license when I'm not even in the car? He says, we have to validate if you are able to drive. And I'm like,
Jane, do you know, can they do that?
I think she's gone.
I know, I can still see her.
I'm here. I just had to mute. No, they can't do that.
Yeah. You see, that's what they did. And then they, like I say, the minute I said to the policeman, or I mentioned Bill of Rights, and because he said, that Brian shouldn't be here because he's not a resident of Ontario. I say, of course.
What?
Yeah, he told me.
Oh my God, get out of here.
He was so angry at me because I used a Bill of Rights. I say, no, he can travel wherever he wish. And I know
borders in Canada. Oh my God.
I know, but anyhow, so he had no right to ask me. I wasn't even in the car for my driving license. It's like basically asking me for my ID when I am on the street. Yeah, so he had no right. Anyhow, my question, the first question is: people who left country because they fear of those mandates or whatsoever, and a lot of my friends, they left country last year because they knew that those mandates are coming and they won't be able to travel. They can also sue, what's his name?
Yes.
They can?
Yes.
Okay, because I have plenty of friends who went back to Poland or who are even still in Poland, and they are so afraid to come back, or they cannot come back for whatever reason.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Everything is done on Zoom. Everything's done digitally, so.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna spread the news, and
spread the news, Bogdana.
Yes, and I need your help, guys, because today I received. I don't know if this is disclosure of the information, but remember those 2 tickets for the mask? I received the first. I received the very first acknowledgement that they received my request to be on the trial.
Oh, okay, that's not your. So you have to request your disclosure. Did you request it?
No, not yet. And but they
so
sent
back to them. Right back to that email. It might not be the right email, but right back to that email and tell them you need your
No,
disclosure.
they send me this by mail. And there is information in English and French, so I had to translate the French and everything. But I don't know if that's the disclosure. But maybe I will talk to you in some other time. Okay, when we have more time.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So basically, guys, don't be afraid to travel. Okay, and even if you get the ticket on the way back, let's put it that way. 2 years not seeing my mother, who is fighting the first cancer. Fuck that $6,255. I'm going to fight with my 3 musketeers because I'm the 4th one. My name is D'Artagnan.
I'm glad you got to see your mother, Bogdana.
And I love you girls, and
too.
and and we're be doing it. And by the way, yes, I was contacted by Vets for Freedom. They are organizing the last 10 kilometers. Actually, they contact me to organize the last 10 kilometers officially with James. They're the only one who are the official organizers for James Top, who is marching. So yes, 10 kilometers.
Okay, when is
the
that?
charter?
What day?
Who's marching for the charter?
Is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, fuck. Excuse me, my language.
Well, Fence for Freedom is charter too.
Yeah.
They all are.
But you know what, girls? Maybe this is the time, since I will be there, I will be marching with. You know what? I need your banner. You need
one of our shirts.
Stand for the. Oh yes. We need shirts.
Yes.
Rob, I need your shirts. I'm gonna print out some shirts.
That's not a good idea.
No.
But
To put shirts in the March for the Charter.
No.
No, Canadian Bill of Rights shirt, stand for thee.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. Stand for the
Rob's
Bill of
shirt.
Rights. And
Okay,
you know
I
what,
just
girls?
got shirts.
No, and I need more of those Bill of Rights, because this Saturday, tomorrow, I'm gonna have a speech on the Parliament. I'm gonna mention this, and I'm gonna mention we marching for the Bill of Rights. Maybe he believes in charter. You know, I can support his clause and everything, but you know what? As a Canadian, he needs to march for the Bill of Rights. That's it. That's all.
yeah.
So Jan, if you look into the video, those who are on video right now, Rob's showing off his shirt.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Rob,
I
tell us
saw
in the
them.
chat where
I
you
saw
got-
them. They're great. They're
Tell
lovely.
us in the chat where you got your shirt. Tell us in the chat, Rob, because I want to get one, or maybe more. Thank you so much, Bojana.
Okay. Thank you, girls.
Soon.
Okay.
We'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Okay, Andre.
Hey, is this working?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. Okay. So just coming back to when we're talking in the class to serve people for NOLs and stuff like that, a huge kind of hurdle that I noticed from what I heard is people don't know where the person lives. Well, there's companies that exist that do that. It's called, they do what they call skip tracing. So if you want, I'll put a few companies that I found that's their service. They have access to tools like credit reports or whatever. You tell them this is the name of the person, this is kind of where they work, and then they go on the hunt and they find people for you, and then they give you the address, and then after that you can do a process server, so they can you can go have deliver in hands, but and then so that way you can get an affidavit of delivery that if you want to serve, like, hey, so and so, yes, you have been served. Boom, just like in movies. That takes away the from you doing all that. You outsource it to somebody and a company that specializes in that.
How much is it? Do you know?
The ones that I found, it ranged between $125 to $800, depending on how fast you want it done. Some of them can take a month or two, and some of them can go up to like 2 days, depending if you want a rush done. And what it is, somebody that have they're in line with people that are private investigators, and they have access to tools that us as citizens we don't have access to, because they have licenses to do research like that. So
if we had his home address, then we wouldn't need to put acting as. We could just put the person for the.
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable giving out someone's home address. Someone.
Right. Well, yes, that's the thing, because some of those companies, they will ask you, what is the purpose of you wanting to get a home address? So you have to describe them, trying to find them to serve them legal papers, and then that's because they're doing their box them or trash their place to be done properly through the.
Are they federally regulated? I guess I'm asking because someone keeps asking, and I'm in Ontario. So the company you found, can they work in Ontario? Are they federally regulated?
Yes.
Or
so like for example, BCS, which is skiptracingcanada.com, they can find people nationwide. Okay. And but I think they're based in Ontario, and I think they're provincially licensed, like they're a private investigator. I think they're, and also some of them, and some of them they're licensed. For example, I'm just trying to make an Excel sheet of like who does what and how much they charge. And one of them, like for example, some of them say our license can only find somebody like to go for a debt, or if you get a bailiff or something, they're gonna go seize their assets or do garnishments or whatever. Whereas some other people can actually do the research to find out and locate. So the right term for that is called skip tracing. Okay. So if you look, if you want to find other company, skip tracing is the keyword to use for when you do that kind of search. Something else I want to bring up, maybe to add to your you know how in the Nuremberg trial they said that just following orders is not an excuse. Well, there's actually a provision like this in the criminal code under section 2691 under the highlights that I have here. So every official who inflicts torture on any other person is guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 14 years. And official means officer. Torture means an act by which mental suffering, whether mental suffering is intentionally inflicted upon a person for obtaining information or a statement, or obtaining, intimidating, or coercing, or any discrimination of any kind. But here's the kicker: no defense part. It says in no defense to a charge, the accused was ordered by a superior or a public matter of the charge, or that the act is alleged to have been justified by exceptional circumstances, including a state of war, a threat of war, internal political instability, or any other public emergency. And that's
the code. What's the code?
So that's under 269.1, torture, under the Criminal Code of Canada. And I was looking, and I find this is the only place that I found in the Criminal Code, I was just following orders. Well, here it says, even in the time of a public emergency, you cannot use that as an excuse to impose mental suffering on somebody.
Wow.
And if you look under the criminal.
Yeah.
Yes, in a Zoom.
If you look at the definition of a code, a person with or emotional or economic loss as a result of a crime. Well, guess what? This falls within the crimes of Canada, and every one of us is suffering also economical loss. So this is part of the mental suffering that I was trying to say, like how am I going to pay my bill? How am I going to do this? So this is an extremely powerful one that can be added to that. And so the other thing I wanted to say, just when people were asking about the NOLs, if people can or cannot do that, in the FAQs from Satand4Thee, there's a section that says, can you do an NOL if you have a grievance? So if you have a grievance for a specific thing, it says basically the short answer is no, you cannot do a NOL for the same thing. However, I think based on if you go after someone for a criminal as opposed to civil, based on the same thing, you go after a different angle criminally, then I think different topic. But I was just wondering,
there's still a problem. There's still a problem. I don't know what it says on Satand4Thee, but when I was asked that you can do it yourself. You just can't. You can't get a lawyer or another union or somebody else to do it, because you've agreed to let the union represent you, and if it's the same thing, you can't like subdivide it and deal with it over here and over here and over here. So if firing from the job falls under the collective agreement, then everything has to go under the collective. If you go through you can't just say, oh well, I'm losing my job over there, but I'm going to do torture over here. Like because you could go to the police, right, to file a charge under the criminal code, but you can't go to get economic or any kind of regulatory relief from a different court. They won't let you. They'll say it's the same facts, and you can't go to two different courts at the same time. But you can do an NOL if you do it yourself. Like if your union says, screw off, everything's fine, you don't have a grievance, you're good to go.
Yeah, because this is what it says on the Notice of Liability FAQs on your website. It says, if I do a grievance, can I serve an NOL? And it says no. If you file a grievance, you cannot.
I think you're looking at an old version because I don't know why. Because I'm looking at it, it says otherwise. So that's weird.
Well,
that
you
yours
know what? It's
updated.
probably because when I printed all the documents, I have a tendency to print stuff and use a highlighter and go through stuff so I really understand things, right? But it's possible that I don't have the latest version. So I'll look on the website and look at that.
But if the union does pick up the grievance, you can't go off and do something else. But if the union says screw you, you can do it by yourself. You can't go and hire it out unless you withdraw from that union. You have to like there's a process that you can get out of being a part of that union, and then you can go to a lawyer or another union or something like that to deal with it. But you can always do it on your own. Because
so is it possible then, if, for example, you're you're doing a grievance based on a work-related item, but let's say a manager assaults you.
Yes.
That's a different, like you can then do both, right? You can say, well, I want to rectify, but then I also want to press criminal charges because I was
criminal
assaulted.
charges.
So like it's different. It's not the same thing, right?
No, well, the criminal charges you can, but you can't go and sue him for assault. That has to go under your union process.
Okay.
Unless they tell you, oh well, we're not going to deal with that.
Right, but this is where you can come back and say, well, as your officer, we can charge you in private capacity because you've acted outside of your legal authority.
Yes. Yeah. It's very difficult to do it, but you can do it, and there is provision to do it, a private charge.
Okay.
Or the police. In some cases, the police might pick it up. But yes, you can do that kind of thing. But you can't do any other, like, to get money for it or to get an injunction or something, like some kind of regulatory relief.
Because I was looking also, if you do, let's say you're charging somebody criminally, then that means you're considered a victim under the criminal code, and you can do what they call the victim impact statement, where they ask you to fill out like what's the type of injury, like the type of emotional impact that you received, like describe like the offense, how it affected you emotionally, or economic impact. You can do all those things, and there's a section in the provision where it says you can have access to restitution. So a judge can say, if you are considered a victim of a crime, the judge can also like give some sort of restitution. And this is something I'm just kind of perusing, just kind of like getting a feeler, see what it is and how it works. So I'm about to do more research on case law, because when I was talking to a friend of mine, he was in law enforcement. He was saying that the hardest thing for you to prove right now will be mens rea, that they had a criminal intent to do that. Well, the way to demonstrate, not like you can't get him to say, oh, I intentionally wanted to criminally do something to somebody. No, you have to look at the actual. Again, this is where I'm at right now. I'm going to look at case law and look at what is needed in order to prove mens rea.
Yeah, it's usually in the criminal, they would just be giving you like an actual dollar loss. You know what I mean? Like if somebody smashed your car up, he was drunk, he smashed your car up, and then there's criminal charges, dangerous driving, blah blah blah. He could be asked in that process to pay for the damage that he incurred, not for any like suffering or whatever, just the actual, like, you'd have to sue for those other things, right, because that normally, I mean, that's what I've seen them. They usually just do it on a dollar figure. They don't say, that it was like somebody suffered, so therefore they have to pay this amount. It's just where there's a loss, where there's a specific loss. Okay. But it doesn't mean they can't recover the other stuff, but they just don't recover that through the criminal.
Right. Okay. Oh, and I think you weren't there, Jane, when we first talked at the beginning. I was saying that my human rights discrimination argument has now been accepted for filing on the federal court. So now I'm waiting to hear back from that. So it's still an ongoing process.
Okay, that's when you're using the discrimination for the testing.
Yes, genetic characteristics bill S201. So I'm trying
to get the tribunal. Well, the court will look at my everything that I submitted and will determine whether or not the Human Rights Commission should send that over to the tribunal. And once it's at the tribunal, I can explain, like I can have my case heard. And once my case is being heard, I think I have very good compelling arguments, all from the Canada website. So I'm not debating the science. That's not my thing. I'm just saying, hey, look, on this thing here, they say to do this test, and this test over here on the Canadian website, it says this is considered a genetic test, like a analyzes the. Yeah. So I'm trying to get them to.
Yeah. So that's what that's actually different than what we talked. Different thing. You're making a case and you're giving evidence to support your claim. It's not a exists or not.
No, exactly. I'm not debating that. I'm not arguing that at all. So
excellent.
So Andre, Amanda, check your chat. Amanda has sent you a couple of messages.
Okay.
I've also put my email address in there. We'd like to connect with you because
I've sent you emails and follow-ups in the past. I don't know if it went through your junk mail, but I haven't received any response back. So I can type my email in here. So maybe you can just...
I'll message you right now.
Okay. So I'll...
Was it to me directly?
Yes, it was to you directly, to Amanda and also Jane. But I think there's so much information that you're getting, or because probably I had an attachment, it probably went straight to junk. So I don't know if from the last time I was on the call.
I've essentially sent you information for a Telegram group.
Okay.
So look for that. Go through the links that I've sent you, and yeah.
Okay. I'm sending you my email too in the chat so you can.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Andre. You're amazing. Thank you. Okay, Carrie. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, I'm in China, and there is no vax mandate here. But yeah, but if I leave the country and want to get back in, I have to upload vaccine information. I know of no one who's challenged that. Everyone here is, even the foreigners, quote unquote foreigners who are here, are being very, very obedient or whatever, compliant. And so, however, I do want to participate in the NOL. And so I'm just putting in the chat, like, I, Carrie Clark, am employed outside Canada. If I return to Canada, I will be subject to testing and quarantine. And though I will be allowed to enter, I will not be allowed to return to my place of employment without disclosing confidential medical information. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And that's the only thing I will have under my statement of facts, because the other stuff doesn't apply to me.
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, and then I'll do a separate one for my son because he did get the ticket, and another separate one for my daughter because she will be traveling this month. Now, that's not injury she had, but she will have. Is that okay?
Say it again. Sorry, the last part.
Like, my daughter is traveling back to Canada this year. Like, she has to. She's over 18. So she has not yet. We have not yet booked a ticket. We have not yet had any kind of injury as a result of that, but she will. So can I put the NOL in for that?
Well, she's in the same boat, right? She's out of country.
Yeah.
So it would be the same thing if when she comes back. She's going to be subjected to all of this.
Okay. All right. Good enough.
Wait a minute.
And
there's no harm done yet, though, right? You have to. It's tangible. It has to be tangible.
Okay. So I can't do that either, then?
Well, like what I did is I just on a random day, I looked at a flight to Mexico, and then I looked at the rules and said I can't go, and then I just downloaded both the flight information and then the travel restriction. But
okay, so I make it as though I did try to book it
for something that might happen in the future, because it might not happen in the future. They could pull that. They could pull that.
Oh,
tomorrow.
I see what you're saying. You need to have like a timestamp, kind of like.
Yeah, like it affected you somehow.
And actually, that's a really easy one for that is the train, because the train has all.
But we're using aeronautical, and we have to add train to the NOL and the lawsuit.
Yeah,
okay.
There was train in it. I saw train in it.
No. Not what we got tonight.
Huh?
The train is under a ministerial order.
Okay.
It's a different one.
Oh, okay. It's a different order. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just choose some random day, yesterday, today, whatever, and say, okay, I wanted to do this, but I can't do it. Therefore, I'm injured.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Do it in the future so that you can show that the vaccine is a requirement.
Got it. Okay.
And then do it in the future. What do you mean do it in the future?
Well, if her daughter's flying to Canada with plan to go back to China, try to book the ticket now to return from Canada to China.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the other trick. The flights are like $5,000, so we're.
Oh no, but you don't have to book them.
Yeah.
You just have to. You just have to.
Yeah. But she just but she can book it in the future.
Let me finish. Your daughter says she's going to come back sometime in the future, right?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Now listen to me. Right now, you can book for the future. Now, I'm not saying to take $5,000 and go and buy the tickets. I'm saying go and download the information that they'll give you. Yes, and then and as like it'll show the date that you're getting it. So then go and look at the travel restrictions as of this date.
Yeah,
got it. Okay, and just save that.
That should do. And also, it's going to have an effect on you too, because your flights are cheaper when you're booking earlier too. So it's not like they said, oh, well, you could have booked it later and maybe, no, you book it when you want to book it.
Right. Okay. Now I have two other quick questions. My son is in an apartment now. He has the no trespass sign up, but he has an outside, like a door that leads to the outside. He's moving to a new apartment. The door to his apartment will be on the inside of like a triplex that belongs to a city councilor. We don't know what she thinks politically. And so I'm just not sure, where does he put that sign? On his door?
On his door.
Okay.
He can't speak for the whole building.
Okay. And then so once I get this NOL all done up, how do I from here send it? My father would be okay with sending for me, and he'll do one as well.
You can send it by email.
Yeah.
Or by email, or like I'm okay with doing registered letter.
You can email, fax is fine, or you can do registered letter, but it doesn't have to be anything that formal.
Fancy,
Yeah.
There's free online faxes too, actually.
Okay. All right. I will look for those. Okay. Thank you, ladies, for everything.
You
guys are awesome.
Thank you. You too. Thank you for taking action.
Oh yeah. I'm on.
Awesome. I love it. Okay. Sergio, hi.
Oh, hi. How are you doing?
Hi. Good.
I think my question was answered.
Okay.
With the last thing, but so basically, I want to leave Canada, right? But so I have to do a screenshot of let's say the flight I'd like to go on, plus look at the restrictions, right?
Yeah.
And see that I'm not allowed because of my status, right?
Yeah, and take a screenshot of that one too.
Okay, and then I can fill out the NOL.
That's right.
Okay, I give this information to a friend of mine who could not board a plane. Her brother died.
Oh shit.
Oh God.
Yeah, she was in BC.
Oh.
No, it was unbelievable. I think she was trying to get a chartered flight, but couldn't afford it.
Those charter flights are like tens of thousands of dollars.
I know. But it was her brother, and her parents were one of the founders of the church, right in front of me. I went to the funeral, but she couldn't.
Oh my God.
I know.
I just put my email in the chat. Please send her our way. We will help her. 100%.
Okay.
We will help her. We will. Okay. We'll help her. We'll help her.
And yeah, I know. And she's just heartbroken, and I was heartbroken for her. Right. Another thing.
It's disgusting.
I know. My sister, lost her job because she wouldn't disclose her status. Right. Can she contact you as well? She did do an NOL.
Yes. Yeah. Was it a Stand4Thee NOL?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Send her away.
Okay. That's my sister's name is Rose, right?
Rose. Okay.
And she's got kids, and I'm not employed, and the situation's kind of tense. Yeah. So thank you so much for everything you've done. I've been following you since you started this, but I just can't believe my poor friend couldn't.
That's so sad.
I've known her mom was my grade 5 teacher, right? I've known the family.
That Theresa Tam went on TV and said, she was asked the question, is there evidence of people transmitting on planes? Oh no, there's no, it's actually very low. Then what are we doing here? When you can
sure, absolutely.
You can go to a concert, you can go to a theater, you can do anything you want except get on a plane.
You can't go on a plane.
And here's the thing. I was just looking at the order in council of what Janice was speaking about. It does say, what it's saying is foreign nationals are actually not allowed in the country unless they're vaccinated. we can come back into the country. So here's the thing. The Quarantine Act, the whole point of the Quarantine Act is to stop the introduction of the spread of a communicable disease. But when it's preventing me from leaving and not entering, how is that accomplishing that?
Exactly. And, as an aside, I'm really up on the science and I don't want to debate it, but viruses have never been proven to be isolated.
A virus is a lie. It's an exosome.
No, I know. The truth about contagion, and Stefan Lanka is a German virologist who's dismantling the theory. I think he's published it in several places. If you take an online course at Harvard University, they feature his article as part of the course. Right. So I'm just hoping that I did a lot of the history and philosophy of science in university, and paradigms change, and it should be uncontroversial. But whatever.
Well, we're also we're the only country doing this. This is nonsense.
I know. I was born here. I can't believe this is my country. I really can't. And
that's why we're going to take action, and we're going to kick this guy's butt.
Yeah. I'm filling one out because I was trying to get out of the country. It's like I just don't know how. But anyway, thank you very much.
You can always try doing a land crossing.
Yeah, I've thought of that. We're just wrapping up my mom's estate, that kind of thing. And then as soon as I can get away, I will try. Right. And so my sister can call you. That's fantastic. I know I've got your email. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mention my name, and I won't take up any more time. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I loved you in Ottawa.
Thank you.
And I want to gift you a Heinzman. Like a real Canadiana Heinzman upright over 100 years old. It's yours if you want it. Okay, anyway.
Thank you, Sergio. Thank you
so much.
Okay.
Be well.
All right. Thank you. Well. And you get your sister and your friend to contact me, okay?
Excellent.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, last question of the night, guys. I'm already here I am an hour over again. Bayetta.
Hi. I'll be quick because I know it's late. I just want to mention something because I've heard that people are getting tickets. They're like 5,000 ticket, and then it end up to be 6,000 something else. So I'm just wondering
they add tax.
They add tax.
They add HST. Yes.
Exactly.
So 250. Yep.
I was listening another lawyer or legal aid, and he provided a case law stating that that's actually illegal. Any ticket that we're getting in Canada, that's already punishment, and you cannot add punishment to the punishment. Therefore, they cannot add tax to any tickets they are giving. Any ticket, not just these tickets, but any other ticket. And I will find that case law so you can guys actually look at it.
Here's the thing. I got something more fun for you. Amanda and I were looking at the Excise Tax Act and the Income Tax Act, and I don't see where it received royal assent. So there's that.
Yeah. So I know for a fact, and because there was the case law, I don't know how many years ago. People don't know about it, and they add in taxes on the tickets, any ticket whatsoever, and you can argue that. And I'm gonna find that case here for you guys. I'll let you know.
Okay, sure. That's absolutely. I don't plan on paying any of my tickets, but it's good to know because.
Yeah, but it's not just those tickets. I mean, any other tickets.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for flagging that. Send it over whatever you get. Send it away.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, guys. We're going to wrap it up. It's been another awesome Friday night Zoom. You guys are amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. I think we were just under 300 folks again tonight. I wanted to say how much I appreciate all of you. I'll be honest, it's a lot of work, but I don't know what I would have done for the past 2.5 years if I didn't have this group. You guys are all amazing. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. You guys are all awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Hashtag.
Thank you.
Hashtag we got this.
Hashtag
We got this.
We got
Hashtag we got this. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Love you.
Thank you. And don't forget, Monday, June 13th, second part of the self-representation Zooms will be on, okay?
It should be good.
Yeah. And we'll talk to you. Talk to you about next week.
Yeah, thanks very much. Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Love you. Thank you.
Good night.
The recording has stopped.